sort myself out actually. And it's going to be a little bit slower because I'm on my other laptop, but we'll get there. Oh, come on. Is it going to happen?
It looks fine. It's live.
Here we are. Now we're live. Hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. These two ladies, of course, need no introduction. We have the fabulous, of course, Lady G, who is bringing us, it looks like Queen Nefertiti vibes today. I'm loving the long dark hair, and we have Dr. Lena Rodriguez with us live from Australia. Sunday morning for her.
Sunday morning, very early.
And I understand, Lena, were you out last night? Are you?
Yes. Well, I'm the Auntie Mame to my nephews, and this bar has a really cute cocktail list, which includes Tequila Mockingbird. Very clever. Okay, so we had to try them.
Of course.
What was I thinking?
And just in case if you guys are wondering, because you see my background is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I'm in a hotel because I'm in Berlin. Yeah.
Berlin.
Yes, I'm in St. John from Berlin. So I'm just catching up with just an old friend of mine who I've not seen in a while. And he's in Berlin, but I mean we've known each other. We're working out. I think it's like for 22 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like ages. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's been a long time since I've been to Berlin. But I'm flying out on Monday, so it is actually 1 a.m. my time because of course Europe is 1 hour ahead. So we're all slightly sleepy, right? Before I proceed, I just want to I've got to remember to say, if you've been enjoying the content and if you've been entertained, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, if you would love to subscribe as well to the ladies' channels, they're in the description below. So you can just click in the description because of course they're both fabulous. And shall we begin with the show? It's here. Yeah.
Yes.
It's here.
Just before we start, I want to say hello to Pammy Rose in the comments. She's from Brizzy in Australia. Hi, doll. Okay.
Ah, lovely. I love it when the Aussies join us as well. But of course, people all over. Again, it's going to be, of course, things that have been going on in American news, because of course America at the moment is the capital of cray right now. But we will be. I mean, there's just no other way to describe it. So we'll be doing that, but we will be coming to the UK with a question because a few of you have asked. And of course, we're going to end, like we like to say here, save the worst for last. And we have to, of course, talk about Duck L'Orange and DeSantis. Yeah. And that little fight, do you remember we were saying, and I said, you know what? There's going to be a fight between those two because we know this, it doesn't matter. Rupert Murdoch may say red, blue, doesn't matter. It's all about the green. With Donald Trump, it's all about him. And if you try and take the limelight away from Duck L'Orange, just forget about it. You have an enemy for life.
I know. And I'm loving it potentially too, because hopefully he'll shred DeSantis, who is more of a threat,
Absolutely, which is kind of like, and it was quite funny, isn't it? We almost had this a kind of Faustian sort of guilt in the sense of kind of like, well, we don't, Duck L'Orange is kind of crazy, but we're kind of hoping that he sort of takes out DeSantis. And we know Duck L'Orange is terrible, but really DeSantis is just, when I go into his energy, it's just, yeah, absolutely gross. Okay, shall we begin?
Yes.
Yeah, he's really creepy. Yeah, he's really creepy. Okay, so this little segment here, I'm calling Kamala Harris Catches Fire. And what do I mean by that is that, do you remember I've been talking about her chart, and I said near and around the eclipses, I said she's going to be more prominent in the news and she's wanting to get her teeth into something. And I was speculating, could it be legalities? Could it be this, that, and the other? I think the situation in Tennessee, also with the two Justins, she's caught fire. Like I've seen a couple of her very impassioned speeches, really impassioned and going for it. So I just want us to pull some cards on that. So what have I put here? Yeah, and of course she's talking a lot about sensible gun controls. She also, in this speech as well, she said 1 in 5 families in America now has been touched by fatalities due to gun crime. 1 in 5. She also reinstated as well. Well, actually, no, this wasn't. So I've never heard this before. But she said 12% of the U.S. population is black, but that 12% suffers 60% of the gun crime. Yeah, before we even go into the whole prison thing. And she also said, and is worth reminding people, the number 1 cause of death now for children is guns.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely mind-blowing. So to me, I feel like this is a kind of something where she's shown tremendous amount of passion, and it's like the gloves are off. So the question here is, what's in her future and her fight for gun safety? So if we could just pull on Kamala and just see what's going on there.
Okay, Kamala.
Because she's been quiet. Well, do you know what I mean? She's not been prominent. You know how we've been saying. Now she's got the bit between her teeth, and I've never seen her so
animated.
Yeah, and really enjoying the fight, almost. I mean, but it's a good cause, obviously.
And Suburban Housewife here says the number is probably higher. She's been affected, her family, by gun crime, and she said, I bet they didn't make it to the statistics. So that's another.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a scourge, but it's nice to see someone at her level just laying it bare as well. And I think that's what the Justins have done. I think they've emboldened, and it's nice to hear fiery language from the Dems. Do you know what I mean? Rather than it being a little bit. All right, who's ready to go first?
Well, I've got huge cards for her.
Oh,
which I didn't expect. Full disclosure, I'm not an avid Kamala fan, but that's another story. I don't have to be. I can put it aside for this. The Hermit. So as you were saying, we haven't heard much from her. It could have been a decision for her not to be too public, or the media wasn't covering her like they didn't cover Bernie or something, but now she's shining a light on this issue. This is a new beginning for her, a brand new day, not a minute too soon, good. The High Priestess, there's more to her than meets the eye, which I'm also very pleased about, But to some extent, she's still a bit of a hostage, I suspect, to the party, because at the top level of the Schumers and Nancy Pelosi and even Biden himself and stuff, they're a very well-oiled, disciplined machine at the top. So I think her wings are still a bit clipped for now. But she's a patient woman. She gets the Queen of Pentacles here. So she'll bide her time. And she's very dignified and can carry that queenly role. So good luck, Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Interesting that the energy's there. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, I have that this is something that's really touching her from close people that she knows. And so she is ready to be out there with the fight with this.
Look at that. I got
And
the
put out
same.
a strong message, put out a very strong message. So at the center of it, she's not liking what she's been seeing. So she is ready to take the divergent path and create a new storyline with it, put it out there. Going into it, you know, she's been quiet for too long. And so this is something that she is struggling with and wanting to put more light on. She's trying to juggle these things where she's at now, of course. She's got more information about it, and that's key. The challenge is her really taking this role and moving it forward. But it's time, and she's got the door now to do that, which is good. And she's caring about family and future things. And so she really wants to dig deeper on this. And I just wanted to say, I can't believe in Florida, they had one of these sheriffs in there and talking about elder abuse. It's so horrible. And it had these two girls. The woman is mentally degenerating and things. And they were teasing her because she wet herself. And that was just so horrible to him. So I put on there, well, what about the children that are getting killed with AK-47s and they can't even have an open coffin? And you're worried about some woman getting teased. That's your big thing. Yeah. Wow. Good luck with that. Wow. Unbelievable, these guys.
Shocking.
Yeah.
They're so hard, aren't they? They're just...
It's just
before you go, someone has said hello to the 3 HoGaTeers. I love that.
Well, I mean, yes, I like that. But remember, folks, these ladies are very much their own free-spirited self. I barely keep them.
Remember that, yes. But I think it's very cute.
It is very cute, and we certainly have a good time. And what a time to be alive! The politics of now is just extraordinary. It's just beyond. So with Kamala Harris, because we know there's something, she doesn't unite all camps. Let's put it that way. She doesn't unite all camps. And this is quite interesting. If we look here, look at the first card that I got. Three of Cups. Now we understand this is about celebration and stuff like that. But one of the things she mentioned in her speech very passionately was, of course, the Justins. They were expelled, but they were what? Reinstated. Yes. Yeah, essentially. And she literally applauded that and stuff like that. So in a way, there's part of this speech was like her being energized by that element there and trying to come forward with a positive message. Now, I've picked 5 cards as usual, 2 major arcana. And look, she's got Temperance here. Now, we know that this is a good card. However, it's turned up in technically the obstacle position. And you know what I say about this card here? Sometimes it can feel like, it can sometimes refer to like a lack of chemistry in some kind of way. Or like when you're trying to get the car going, it's like, yeah. And in a funny way, like for me, it's almost like Kamala has been trying to get her car going for a long time. And I think this is kind of like this whole scenario is an opportunity for her to maybe change the balance of things. Because, Lena also got the Hermit card as well for her first one. And there has just been this element of like, where is she? What's going on? It doesn't feel like she's got something where now I think that's different, but I think this card is also reflecting as well how she may also have been struggling with the balance, with the chemistry, with the public. I would go as far to say that. Yeah. And I think she still has to work that one out. Yeah, still have to work that one out. But in the middle, she gets the Lovers. Yeah, and we all know this is about making big decisions, consequential decisions. It's not only, of course, you know, business, who you're teaming up with and stuff like that. But I think also as well, this could be speaking a bit about 2024. Could this be, is this the Kamala Harris Biden ticket, or is it someone else? Is it someone else? Yeah, there's, you know, we have this, oh. Lena's bursting at the seams.
You finish, and I'll.
Like a chord, isn't it? Because I'm looking at that. This is decisions, and it's in the middle, so we know it. The other cards dangle off the other side. Look at the next card. Three of Pentacles, the card of what? Collaboration. Yeah. Lovers making choices about what? Collaborations. And then the outcome card, Five of Wands. So there could be a little bit of a discord here, disagreement, pulling in different directions. So there's something coming up. Remember, like I said, I always look at the astrology. Something is happening with Kamala. I'm not sure what is. Lena, go for it. Something happened.
Thank you for letting me off the list. What I've been thinking for now, if you're going to the polls with someone who isn't young anymore, let's face it, with Biden, particularly by 2024, you need a dynamic vice president to be the dual ticket. And in an ideal, well, people have to know that person more than they have A, if it's Kamala. But B, if I could wave my magic wand, I would, and I was Biden, I'd make her AG and have Eric Swalwell as the vice president. And I think that'd be a killer ticket, because people will hesitate about a woman and a black woman if something happens to Biden. Whereas Eric Swalwell looks like a Kennedy, so smart, so compassionate, so fabulous, and give her a big plum opportunity at AG. Let her go for these people. But that's just.
I think that's a good plan. I really like Swalwell.
Yeah. And people see him once and fall in love with him, and they trust him, and he has all those intangible qualities. Yeah. Plus he's killer smart, but he doesn't rub people's nose in it, you know. Exactly. I think that would be a fabulous ticket.
I'm not so familiar with him. I'll have to look up a bit. I know the name, of course. Yeah. I know the name. But it's when I look at her chart, like I've been saying, it's like I see like a kind of career change. And it's like what's happened with the whole Tennessee thing. You can see that passion. You can see she's really wants to go after them, like justice and blah, blah, blah. And if she was the AG, even though that might be controversial to say, I think that's something she could really get herself into, because she's chomping at the bit here.
Chomping at the bit. So that is my advice for America.
Well. Let's see if that comes to pass. But something's going on, and her chart is developing. That's for sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah, with her chart. All right, so we're going to go to question number 2, and we're going to jump in our little esoteric aeroplane, and we're going to go to the UK. Yeah, to talk about.
It's spring.
Yeah, it's spring. The weather's better than here in Berlin, actually, sadly. But anyway, it's just been raining all the time in Berlin, but Berlin is so cool. So Di or D-I-Y-O-Y Joe. I don't know how to say it. I've totally brutalized that. Sorry. Yeah. And they've called this. We're going to be talking about Suella Braverman, who they've called Cruella Braverman, and Brenda C. Oh my God, she's just like, oh my God. So the question here is like, good morning, Hogarth and everyone and the ladies. Hope you're well. Please, can you look at Home Secretary Suella Braverman, who is the most racist Home Secretary ever? When will she go? Many thanks. So let's just see what the energy is around her.
Let's see what we get.
Suella Braverman.
Let's
What's the energy around Suella? And she's just one of many who are this cohort of politicians pushing everything to the right.
And again, really cruel policies, you know, unnecessarily cruel policies. You know, she's the one, I think, who wants to send the refugees to Rwanda, and just dreadful.
And today it emerged. My sisters actually sent me a little WhatsApp with a link to Twitter, and there's one of these conservative counselors or something like that was caught on a recording saying that every white man should own a black male slave.
I saw that in my feed.
Where was that?
In the UK. I can't. Let me just see.
That was in the UK. Somebody said that.
Somebody actually said it.
Oh my God. It sounds like something they would say here in Tennessee or one of those places.
Yeah, it's right up there. It's appalling.
Yeah, just like you just like, oh my God. And obviously you can imagine that, you know, he's just been absolutely, you know, roasted. But yeah,
I hope so.
Well, roasting's not good enough, is it? It's not.
Well, yeah, he needs to resign.
Feather him.
Are there calls for him to resign?
Yeah, there's calls for him to resign. Let me just find it. He's called Adam Bienkov, Bienkov. That's his Twitter thing, and he's written here: all white men should have a black man as a slave. Says conservative councillor Andrew. Conservative councillor Andrew Edwards in a leaked recording. So it was Adam Bienkov that put the story out, but it was Andrew Edwards. Yeah. Just, you know, it's just like, Anyway, who is ready to go?
I can, if you like.
Go for it, Lena.
I moved to the Toth deck for her because she deserves it.
This is Braverman.
Yeah, Suella Braverman. So she's really out of touch. This is the card of luxury. But in the Toth deck, there's a sort of dripping decadence about the luxury. So she has no idea how the world works. That's the first thing. Then she gets what here is the Princess of Swords. So she doesn't hold back. You know, she goes forward with these, you know, really cruel and ridiculous ideas. Money somewhere there purring around. Who's paying for Suella Braverman's lunches is what I want to know, right? That's obviously there too. But here the swords are all coming for her. And her final card is the Five of Swords, which in the Toth is defeat. Not a minute too soon. And I don't get the vibe here that this is around the corner. I don't think she is going in the next, 6 months or something. This is more long term. She will be defeated. But as long as the Tories are there paying wages to these people, it's just such a disgusting band of lawmakers, It's...
Probably next election, I would imagine that will be, which isn't too far away, but we'll see. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, she's argumentative, strong opinions, people are not liking what they're hearing from her, and they want to be done with her. They don't want to hear any more of her nonsense. At the center of it, we have a lot of mental pain with this. And, I don't think she is religious. I think it's sometimes when it's the other side, it's the anti-religious, the, like the Antichrist type of dark energy, the doorway that she is using at the moment. Going into it, people want to walk away from her as they are trying to pick up my card here. As they're waking up to what she is, they're looking for another direction. They want to walk away from what she is and those like her. They see the buying and selling of this, that she is probably narcissistic time, that's in it for money and making the alliances with those that could keep her. But the challenge is an ending, okay? A bouquet of stuff is coming up. Of course, that she's going to have these difficulties there. And the clarification is the choices she's made, which have been so toxic. Yeah, so toxic. And all the lies and things she's perpetrated. They're looking at getting rid of her as soon as they can.
Very interesting. And I just wanted to say thank you, guys.
She's quite young, isn't she? How old is she?
Oh, I think she's either late 40s, early 50s, but for a politician, that's young.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
She's
too young to be harboring this sort of viciousness, like. It's very interesting because in a little segue, one of the things that I think the Tories are doing is that within the, so cynical, within their own party, of course, there are people of color, black people who are now, prominent positions. But the thing with the Tories is we all know what their baser instincts are. And the color of the person that they put forward really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But by having, because of course you've got, you have Rishi Sunak, first Indian Prime Minister. Wonderful, that's great. The Tories have been, given the female leaders, although of course the last one, Liz Turd, who's still in need of a good flush, but keeps popping up like a floater in different countries. Have you noticed, giving these random speeches, and you're like, why have you not been expunged? Anyway, and then you've got, oh, indeed. And then you've got like characters like Kemi Benedoc, for example, who's a black politician, conservative, but it's almost like they're doing this stuff to be able to push through more hardcore stuff without being called the R word. Yeah. So that's what I think is going on. So if we look here she is. Yeah. And here she is. She's turned up here as the 10 of Wands. But this is about, passion, entrepreneurship, etc. But because we're talking about Suella, in a way, this is, for me, reflects her ambition as a politician. There she is, Home Secretary. I am the firebrand, quite literally. The second you land here, you're off to Rwanda. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. But look here, in the obstacle position, we have the Fool card, and we all know, particularly when we're talking about these douchebags, who are just this can literally mean reckless and foolish decisions. And actually, she's actually quite lucky to have her job, because she slipped a couple of times in terms of giving private, classified information, this, that, and the other. And she basically should have been fired. Didn't resign, and then resigned, and then it was put back in the government. But this is talking about her judgment. We're dealing with quite a reckless person here who doesn't necessarily really think about the policies that they're putting in. This is literally Suella just going off the cliff on stuff. Ironically, if we look here, we get the 3 of Wands, and this is about waiting for the ship to come in. However, if we look at this from the perspective of Suella Braverman, there's been lots of issues with migrant crossings.
This, if we take that literally, that's her looking at the crossings and obviously thinking like, where can I send them? Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a problem for her. But look here, the World card, endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings. But this is also as well, when you think in terms of her policy of what? Trying to ship the migrants to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Quite literally, yeah, quite literally.
And they got that idea from Australia.
Yeah.
From our conservatives.
Yeah, yeah. And here she is sitting there pondering, just as Lady G would say, pondering her crucible of abominations. Yeah, yeah. But this also shows as well that there is a lot of her, I think for her, it is a personal vendetta that she's taken on, because of course the cups speak about emotions. So I feel like this is her in both extremes. Her trying to be this firebrand, this role, but really I think it's actually coming from an internal place that's got a lot more to do with insecurity and her personal grievances. Anything you want to add to that, ladies?
In the comments, she's 43. She looks older, and hate is like meth. It ages you. I think that's true.
And thank you everyone as well for joining us. I think what we're over at 1,252 right now. Oh God, I can't even get the numbers out. But thank you for joining us. And if you're joining us on a Sunday as well, happy Sunday. Right. Let's move to the next one. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see. So someone called Me, not me, it's just spelled M-E, asked a question. And they're saying, I watch your show on replay every weekend. Thank you. She says that you guys are phenomenal. Please, thanks so much. Please, could you see if the GOP had anything to do with the leaked documents? You know, the ones, Pentagon stuff.
Yes. But the baby leaked.
When this story broke, instantly I thought it's a Trumper. Yeah. Some people were coming up with very exotic theories. I was like, nah, this has got American hands written on it and they've arrested someone. But would the GOP maybe have been involved or facilitating? Let's just take a look.
Wow, I'm curious. Yeah. Is the GOP involved?
GOP involved in this. God, Suella's only 43. My God, that's just ridiculous. The GOP. Are they involved with the leaks? We'll also get the Bard at the end to give his opinion on DeSantis.
Oh, brilliant.
Stat.
Will I kick off again?
Okay, who's ready to go? Go for it, Lena.
Well, someone put him up to it. Here's the Lover's card. So he was, living a life probably, really thrilled to have the job he had at 21. Do. Then someone was in his ear, encouraging him. It's possible, with the Pentacles, we leap to money, and it's possible he was paid, but maybe not. It could be values. If he is a Trumper, someone said to him, you can help this guy or whatever. So it might be money literally, or it could be the value. Someone radically encouraged him to do this thing, which he did without thinking. And now, of course, crying himself to sleep, not surprisingly. So in answer to the question, I don't know if it was a party operative of the GOP, but someone with their interests at heart. Got to see it for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. And for entertainment purposes only, everyone.
Oh,
Lady
yes.
G, Lady G, what do you have?
Yeah, I agree that he's got, the interests of GOP. I don't think GOP necessarily put him up to it, but we have Biden's administration, and he's got all these ideas up in the air about it. And so he's sharing this toxic stuff.
Look.
Yeah, sharing the toxic stuff. At the center of it, he's seen the loss by who? And the darkened loss of the darkened one, loss of control of it. When Trump lost, he's got this ideology that the country's going down the tubes because what's he hear on Fox and with him. So going into it, we have this retiring and wanting to put to rest some of the community things because he had all this bundle of stuff to share because he was very unhappy with things. So he went and moved this forward into the deeper things, the secrets that shouldn't be put out. The challenge is tempering what? The White House, tempering Biden administration. So he was going to take charge because he had what? He thought he could control this information, the documents, the information, and then that made it a difficulty for us as a country.
Wow. I mean, I think your cards have basically completely described the picture, really, haven't they? Like the whole journey. Yeah, the whole journey here. And there is this aspect of, and that's why I keep saying like Duck L'Orange, he's like that duck-billed platypus, or he's like the Komodo dragon. His saliva is poison. Do you know what I mean? It's this like this Komodo dragon, it's not a sophisticated reptile. It's huge, but it's not sophisticated. And it waits and it prowls along and it knows it cannot beat prey that is faster or more intelligent than it is, but it doesn't matter. All it has to do is get one bite, and then that poison seeps into that animal that quickly runs off, and then it just finds it a day later and it's just dead. And then it just feasts. And this is kind of what Trump and what Fox have done. They've poisoned people's minds. And so it's quite interesting. So here I have the celebration card come back. Now, obviously, this came up for Kamala, but this is a different context. What I think this is him like, yes, I did it. We did it. Yeah, we'll show them. There he is with his pea shooter. Pow, pow, pow. You take that, Biden administration. Yeah. So I think at first he felt quite elated, and I think he was buzzing. Yeah, he was buzzing. Look at this. I'm this big hot shot. But look who turns up in the second position. We know that this is what? Team build, partnerships. Yes, he was partnered with someone. Who that is, we can't be entirely sure. But if there was a GOP flavor there, I don't think it would be too shocking, would it? Particularly when we see the question that's coming up next. So this was a team effort. Someone put it forward, just like the ladies were saying. Someone whispered in his ear, was like, do this, yeah? You're going to be... I don't think he did it for money. I think it was for the kudos.
I don't either. That's not
Well, I'm not feeling it's money.
Yeah,
particularly here, if we look what card's in the middle. This is the Ace of Wands. All about what? Passion and ideas. I think he did this to be what? A hot shot. Yeah. I'm going to go out there, boldly go and blah, blah, blah. However, oh dear, buyer's remorse. Yeah. It's all gone pear-shaped, because as we saw the footage, he was arrested. But then look as well, the outcome card is here she is again. But we all know, there are secrets contained in that jar. No one's really sure what's in it. So again, that's echoing how he revealed these secrets, which of course is basically embarrassed America a bit on the national stage. They're trying to play it down. Yeah, they're trying to play it down, but it's not a great look when you've got rookies like this who have access to such secrets, and then when you have senior people in government also as well with documents turning up everywhere, it's like, are there no librarians around? Do you know what I mean?
In the chat, putting two comments together, he leaked the documents to impress his chat friends. He shared on Discord chat. And I think what we're seeing for the Pentagon, and it's probably a wake-up call for everywhere, the young things are much more electronically adept. So when we think of documents, we think of them like the Mar-a-Lago documents in boxes, but most information is not in that form. So they can jump in. He may or may not have had clearance. I'm only thinking of this now, but was able to move around and get the electronic version.
Yeah. Or he was able to convince someone, or someone just showed him where to go and dropped it in his lap. Because these POC, yeah, they don't care about the boots. You know, the suits don't care about the boots. It's about you do our bidding and you're thrown under the bus, and they just keep buying it. They can't seem to work out that they're just chattel, to be exploited. But very interesting. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on?
Well, I'm just thinking he probably wasn't born when Julian Assange got arrested. How long ago is Julian Assange? So it's not in the thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And we can see by that Ace of Wands as well. Wands is always about passion, energy, and stuff like that. And he just kind of did it, like, you know, whoa, look at me, I'm so cool. And it's like, he's going to be spending quite some time behind bars, you know, because they're going to have to make an example of him. Right. Let's see. Let's go to question number 4. All right. And this is coming from Call Me Annie and Fed Girl, both asked something similar. So Call Me Annie asked, will Jack Smith indict congressman? But the wider thing is this, and this is what Fed Girl added. It has recently come out that Louis, what have I written here? Gohmert, sorry, I can't read my own handwriting. Jim Jordan. Gohmert. There's definitely a T in there. G-H-O-M-E-R-T, Gohmert, I guess.
Yeah.
Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, MTG, Paul Gosar, and Andy Biggs allegedly were all caught on Capitol Hill building CCTV feeds, giving reconnaissance tours to groups. Some in those tours were charged with insurrection. So some of them, I think, are behind bars. Oh, we're up to 1,400 as well. And thank you for those 2 donations that have just come in.
Thanks.
Thank you. What will the outcome be for these what have I put here? These representatives. Will the DOJ be able to tie them directly? So it's quite a big question, but essentially, will there be repercussions for them, their assistance? Donated there. Let's click on that.
Those reconnaissance tours of the White House.
Trying to find out who donated. I can't see them yet, but thank you guys. Suburban Housewife and Charlene Dougal, thank you.
Very kind.
We're now up to 1,400. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks. And happy Sunday. You seeing us then? Hope you're having a nice coffee and a cheeky sticky bun pastry or something.
Well, I don't know. These are mysterious.
I've just found out I've got a wheat intolerance, by the way, so breakfast is ruined. No more cake, no more pastries, no more biscuits.
Oh, no. No, but you can get gluten-free everything now.
Yeah, but
And
it's
for
not the
the
same,
first,
Lena.
it's not the same,
Doesn't
but it
taste
is
the same.
better.
True.
No, but 10 years ago, it was like cardboard, and now it's much more sophisticated. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these. I don't know.
Who's ready to go? Let's see what we've got. Oh,
I'm ready.
go for it. Go for it, Lady G.
Underneath of it all, we have this charging forward with the energy. They're taking control of it, looking at the strength of the actions of these people. They're investigating it, and there will be some nightmare scenarios for those that have done this. They're looking at the information that they have. A lot of times, this is evidence that's going to eat away at their bouquet of happiness for doing what they did. There are those that are going to come out with a message about evidence. They're waking up to the fact, that there's a fly in the ointment for what these people had done. And America is coming to a point in time that says we want to know what's under the surface, of what's going on. The challenge is the long term, the door of what we're doing and going forward, how we're going to do for long term. And the clarification is facing loss when it came to the White House, because they tried to cut it and overturn the election. So they're looking into it deeper. They've got information, and America is going to start pushing more for these people to be accountable.
Fascinating. And I just want to quickly interject. Thank you, Mags2248, for your donation. That's wonderful. Lena, what do you have?
Well, an interesting story, because my personal reaction before I did the cards was, there's so much else going on. They're not even going to backtrack this far to these people. I was a bit, but these cards tell a different story. So we have the magician here who possibly, I'm getting Jack Smith getting the magician quite a lot lately.
Yes, yeah, most, yeah.
Which is heartening. He's appraising the situation along with everything else on his plate. When I say Jack Smith, probably not personally. He'd have teams of prosecutors doing different things. So his people, look where the money ball is for them, to try and prove that intent, as opposed to, wow, I'm in Congress, I'm low and but come and have a look at my office. They have to prove the intent, and that these people had this intention. So I think that's what this card's about. And then it's boom, the sun shining on their nefarious activities, an action very direct about this. The chariot, like boom, and victory.
Yeah.
So I love it when that happens, when the cards prove yourself wrong. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking in a particular way, and yeah. So I was thrilled with that.
That's really quite dynamic. So there could be something in this, folks.
They're active cards.
Yeah, could be something in this, folks. And my cards have been quite complicated as well. So no major arcana, but out of the 5 that I've pulled, 2 are reversed. And I recently took out the reversal. So I mean, not took out, I mean, like, just you get the cards in the right way again. So I was quite surprised to have 2 turn up. So this is quite interesting. So straight off the bat in terms of what's going to happen. Are they going to face consequences? Jack Smith or whoever's going to be throwing the whip of cracking the whip of justice, shall we say? But look, they're going to have to defend themselves at some point. Look, they have to defend these actions that they've taken, because by default, if the people that they've shown around have had to face justice and have faced insurrection stuff, then surely they are tainted by the same brush. Yeah, surely what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. That's the way I'm looking at that. But why were they doing this stuff? In the obstacle position, I get the 6 of Cups, but look, it's in reverse.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So often, particularly with the GOP, they've got this nostalgic idea, but look, it's a reverse. So it's a refusal to let go of the past. They have almost these childlike fantasies of how they want America to be. And I was thinking, just with the Empress card, whenever more and more as we pull that card, I often think to myself, what is under the Empress's skirts? Yeah, because you know she's got these big skirts, and I really do feel sometimes there is something under the Empress's skirt, because
I'm never going to look at the card the same way again.
I really do, because I sometimes like, she often comes up in this context when we're looking at the shadow side, and I always think, what's under her skirt? So if we look here, this is them kind of look feeling a bit embattled. Yeah, I think there is pressure coming. I think there is. I think they're might have to sweat a little bit, because we've got 2 cards of battling here already. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this could be as well, you know, them maybe being held accountable in some way for what? Look at that. The partnership. They teamed up with those people. It was no coincidence. Those people, they showed them where everything was. It was a partnership, and it was all paid up for. And then when we look here at the outcome card, look, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. When it's the right way up, this can be about balancing budgets and, you know, trying to, you know, calm things down. But this can talk about manipulation, corruption, double dealing. And we knew as well what? Money probably exchanged hands, but in a underhanded way, quite literally, if I take perspective. So there could be stuff. Anything you'd like to add to that, ladies?
No.
Right. Okay. Now it's all heating up. It's all heating up. We're going to get to Duck L'Orange very soon, and DeSantis, but we'll quickly squeeze in this one. And this is coming from C Peace, and they've said, I agree with the 2 of the comments. This was on the community page, but this says here, will Feinstein and Clarence Thomas be forced out? Will we ever see term limits for Senate or SCOTUS? Good God, I hope so. So maybe let's just, how do you want to divide that up, ladies? Because we could do one card pulls.
Maybe
one card pulls
on them.
Yeah, let's do 1 card pulls on them, because it's actually quite packed in there. So the first one is, so will Feinstein and Thomas be forced out? But let's look at Feinstein, because some are saying maybe she should retire. Then we'll look at Thomas, and then we'll look at the SCOTUS question. All right, so let's go with Feinstein.
You've missed it. She is 89. She's not well, and she's missed 58 votes so far. And this has impacted on Biden's ability to appoint judges, not SCOTUS level, that's a really big deal, but at district level and other things, because she hasn't been there to vote.
What? I knew it was a few times. I didn't know it was that much.
Wow.
I mean, look, you know, if she's not okay, if she's not well, and look, we don't want to burn her at the stake, you know, she's not well or what have you, but that's a lot. Wow. Okay. All right. Are we ready? So this is going to be on Feinstein. Feinstein, what are the energies? All right, there we are. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Ooh. Okay. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I don't think this is her crying in the sense she's refusing to resign. I think it is people near to her who are really frustrated now. Okay, because there's excellent people hovering around for that position. Katie Porter, and can you let me know in the comments? There's someone else, a man who's really good. I think this is a bit of frustration.
Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
This is, of course, the messenger. And, you know, it's just her being there is too fishy anymore. It's just not working well. So I think that's what it's pointing to.
Yeah, stinky fish. And the way the way I interpret is like this. They want to kick her off the cliff. They do. Yeah, it's this kind of, again, this head in the sky attitude. You know, I understand, look, she wants to, you know, keep her job, but I didn't realize she'd missed quite that many votes. And it's kind of having a kind of a reckless feel. And it's almost like, well, what's your purpose then? What's your function?
And the need for something new.
Yeah, something fresh. Yeah, something fresh.
Yeah, when you pull that up as well talking, it just feels like she's losing her ability to cognize what's ahead of her. Yeah.
Because the head, she's not there. This can also be like the Space Cadet card as well. The Fool is just, you know, part of the shadow of the Fool is just being kind of reckless.
And not looking at how it's impacting the party and the bigger picture.
Somebody just said she agreed today to be replaced.
Well, look at that.
That is great news. And I think that they would have been at her in the last few weeks, you know.
So those cards were bang on. There was the stress and the worry. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm very pleased. And have a dignified retirement.
Exactly.
These people can still be mentors, you know, for other ones coming.
Indeed. Right, let's get to Thomas. Will he be forced out? And then we'll look at SCOTUS, and then we'll the time has gone. Then we'll get Duck Larange and DeSantis. So Thomas, one card pull. What's going on with him? All right. So I want to know what the Bard thinks about DeSantis. All right. Okay. Clarence Thomas. Are we ready? All right.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow. Yes.
All right. So, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Now, here he is, the Emperor. You know, they're going to have to push him out if they want him out. He will not go readily. He could hide behind health issues or something down the track. But at the moment, he's clinging to the power of the throne, literally. Yeah.
Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did a read on him the other day, and the same thing. The Repugly Uglies are going to surround him and try to keep him in.
Yeah. And I think I've got the card of the main one who's trying to keep him in, his wife, Jeannie Thomas. That's her. That is her.
Totally. The power behind the throne.
Behind the throne. That's it. So I think in that we got Clarence Thomas, we got the GOP, and we got the wife. There it is. They're gonna try their best to keep him in. My God, I love these one card rules sometimes.
They're so amazing always.
Indeed. And let's quickly look at the last bit. Will there be limits for the Senate or SCOTUS?
Let's say in the next 5 years or something like that, we'll turn.
Like in the sense of, will there be like you can only be a certain age and then you might need to kind of move on, or like not having whole career, you know, once you become a justice, like you don't leave until you die, basically.
Life. A 20-year appointment or something. Why not? But
exactly. All right. So we'll pick a card. Will there be limitations? Will there be curves, time limits? Let's say limitations.
Term limits. Will there be term limits?
And then we'll get Duck Larange and DeSantis in.
Oh, yes, Jason. Ready?
You ready? All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you got the Emperor this time.
Now
You got Justin. How fabulous.
Cards, folks.
That is really amazing. And this to me is people are thinking about it, weighing it up.
It's being juggled about the Justice Department.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But the difficulty is that they wanted to hold on.
They don't want to move on.
Right, the hand is like,
I'm only 106. What's your problem?
Yeah,
yeah, unfortunately, they have too much power where they're at.
Yeah. They don't want to give it up. Isn't it amazing sometimes how those one card pulls just get straight to the essence of it? My goodness. All right, so we've got look at that. Okay, we've just got to the hour, but not to worry. We're going to finish with Duck Larange and DeSantis now.
Oh.
Honestly. Duck Larange is a lot of things, but one of the things is definitely not is boring. Yeah, so it's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Although I don't know, I think he's on the brink. He is tipping into boring now. He used to be able to pull out something, but I know what you mean.
True. He's very repetitive. He's very repetitive. But have you guys seen recently Trump's new attack ad on Ron DeSantis?
No, are they good?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'll have to check them out after this.
You got to check this out. So I saw it on I was watching a bit of CNN, gathering the different news and stuff like that. And on CNN, they've called it both brilliant and disgusting.
I love that combination.
This attack, already, they've called this attack ad brilliant and disgusting.
Oh, I have to check it out.
Is that it's this? They're talking about DeSantis, and believe it or not, actually, as I predicted, you remember I said Trump is going to go with the angle of Medicare, Medicaid, and all of this kind of stuff as part of.
Which is bizarre from his
right.
point of view. Yeah,
indeed. But this is what this ad focused on, and it's got this guy who is eating a chocolate pudding with his fingers.
Oh yes,
and it's all going all over the place. And then part of the headline strapline is "Get your pudding fingers off our Social Security." Yeah.
And what I love about the Yeti doing this now, he's actually cutting the rug out from the whole GOP on cutting Social Security.
Yeah.
He becomes the savior.
Absolutely.
And it makes it hard for them to do it. How the world turns.
Indeed, because remember I'm always talking about that reptilian cunning. Because he's hitting two birds with one stone, because he wants to get rid of a potential rival, and he called him desanctimonious, which has actually turned out to be accurate, but he's also cutting away at the GOP for him to maybe even potentially stand as an independent or something like that, but it serves a greater role than just the DeSantis thing. Quite interesting. All right, so the thing is, will Duck Larange succeed in taking down DeSantis?
All right.
And then we'll see what the Bard thinks. Will Duck Larange succeed in taking down DeSantis?
Oh.
Because a better scenario, if we dare imagine it, would be Trump gets the takes out DeSantis, potentially gets the nomination, but then cannot run and be president because he's got locked up or he's too indicted. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes to the Dems. We'll see.
These are truly ghastly men, and they've got ghastly cards.
What do you have, Lena?
Well, it kicks off with the Tower. Just boom. Right? So in this sense, in the context of the question, because Trump is so vengeful. Nothing will satisfy him other than complete destruction of DeSantis is his aim. I love that. DeSantis is trying to stay out of the firing line. The donors are waiting and watching. These cards are gold. Whoever wins, they are chained to the devil.
The devil, yeah. Wow.
Oh my God. Oh, I love tarot.
Oh, it's remarkable. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, we have kind of out in the cold because he's being hung up. You know, we have a lot of major arcana with the investigations and the choices he's made. And he's just trying to hang on for dear life at this point. At the center of it, we have, you know, still charging forward, but I think this has to do with all the legal cases that are coming. That's his long-term path to his end point. Going into it, of course, he's trying to, you know, make him as much fireworks as he can.
This is literally fireworks.
And waking people up to what Satan is. But we have here now his abuses that are happening. And they're looking at the much deeper issues and anchoring those in. The challenge is, again, I think this has to do with all the court cases.
Yeah.
The dark things, the jungle he's facing of difficulty. And we have still trying to hang on to the throne and just fighting with this. But, you know, things are going to go forward. So we'll have to see. He's giving it the good college try, though, we'll say that.
I mean, it's like two mud wrestlers, isn't it? It's like two mud wrestlers in there and both fighting for whatever. So in terms of will Duck L'Orange succeed in taking down DeSantis? But the first card here is this. The whole DeSantis popularity thing was a world of pain for Duck L'Orange because he was like, how dare you push me off the pedestal and put this child in my place? Yeah. Because you remember when Ron was like, hey, Don, I can help you out. I can prevent you being extradited. And remember, we read into the energy and Don was like, don't you can imagine the expletives that would have come out of Duck L'Orange's mouth. Yeah. He wants to see the back of DeSantis. He wants this guy gone. Yeah. He absolutely wants this guy gone because it's like, I cannot stand him. Duck L'Orange is going to use every cunning and wicked method he can to get rid of this guy.
Imagine that.
Even if it means stealing the clothes and the swords of the GOP itself, he's going to do it. This is Duck L'Orange, doing his best because he needs to what? Be the top dog. He needs to remain king of the castle, and he can't have that. So he's going to move at pace and at speed because lots of stuff is coming to hit him over the head. So he's really got to attack DeSantis as quickly as he can to get this guy out of the way. So will it succeed? We'll have to see. I think probably Don will, because once DeSantis is actually tested in broader waters, I think his appeal might not be quite as much. So let's hope that is the case. And shall we see what the Bard has to say about DeSantis before we go?
Yes, please. I don't think we've ever had a Bard on DeSantis, have we?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Oh gosh, there are over 1,500 of you here. Wonderful. Thank you guys
bless
so much.
You all.
Amazing. Whose turn is it to call? Who did the last one?
Remember.
Lady G, I think it might be you. I think it might be your turn this time. All right. I'm closing my eyes now. This is what the Bard thinks of DeSantis. All right. Tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so here, and I'm going to read the page before as well. So I always like to do both. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. So here, this is from Richard III. The bard said, "Thou elvish marked abortive rooting hog." Yeah? Yeah. That may have come out before, I'm not sure, but "thou elvish marked abortive rooting hog." That's what he's called it. And on the next page, it says, "This sanguine coward, this bed presser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh." And it's quite interesting because it says this huge hill of flesh, but Dr. Larange's thing is about eating puddings and not using using a spoon.
True. Or the first one could be DeSantis and the second one Trump because of how we just did the reading.
Yeah, and he could be speaking about both men. Yeah. Yeah, but the first one was thou elvish marked abortive rooting hog. So there you are. That's what
we've lost the art of cursing, haven't we? Really, it's so anemic in the modern world, you know.
Exactly. By comparison, like no one can hold a candle to the bard when it comes to cussing people out. But sadly, folks, we've run way over. We've been having so much fun, but the time has really flown. It has gone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We must dash. You know, Lena needs to have breakfast. I need to try and have some sleep. And of course, Lady G has to maintain her fabulousness.
That's right, her fabulous.
So next week, I understand, Lena, I think did you say you're going to be in America, aren't you?
The next 2 weeks.
All right, look on for the next 2 weeks. So we'll see, but Lady G and I will do a couple of two-handers and stuff like that. We'll throw in some extra bells and whistles, and
we'll hold down the fort until Lena.
We'll hold down exactly to your back. But let us know if you ever get a strong internet connection and you fancy it, a little tickle, even if it's for 10 minutes. Come in. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and bye-bye for now, and thank you for the donations, and happy Sunday, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Bye-bye for now. Okay, so I'm using my slower computer, so again, I've realized the goodbye could actually last a bit longer, folks. I should have clicked on the button a few seconds ago.
That's okay. Thank you, everyone.
And if you can see anything in the comments, just as they were, and it says end broadcast.